There you have it. That's going to be one of the best steaks you ever have. I don't know how it's coming through for you guys, but it is extremely juicy. Looks delicious. What's up, YouTube? We are here at the grocery store because before you can make a good steak, you got to come to the butcher and get the steak. So let's go in there, let's get the steak, let's get all the ingredients we're going to need to make this tonight, and let's get it done. Alright, we got everything we need from the grocery store. Let's go home, set this up, and I'll show you guys how to cook it. Alright, everyone. Right now we got a bone-in ribeye and we got a T-bone steak. The way we're cooking this today and the way I'm showing you will work for either of these. They both turn out really good. I don't like it for New York strip and a lot of other stuff. But your bone-in ribeye and your T-bone or porterhouse, this recipe works for both. All you need is probably about 3/4 a stick of butter per steak. Maybe a half a stick, depending on how you like it, but I'll show you why later. You need some minced garlic. You need some rosemary. And I don't know, thyme, I don't know what that's called, but that's what you need. So you get those 4 ingredients, your steaks, and that's all you need to make the perfect steak. It's really all about how you cook it. That's really the main thing. It's how you cook the steak, how you get it ready, how you prepare it. Now we will need salt. Salt is also needed. I didn't put that in there, but we will need salt. So as of right now, you're going to take your steaks and we're going to just let them sit on the counter for about an hour. And what we're doing is we're getting them to room temperature. You never want to cook the steaks cold out of the fridge or anything like that. So we're going to put them on the counter. We're going to let them get to room temperature. We're going to let them sit for about an hour before we even start cooking these. So I'll see you guys in an hour. Forgot to mention, you do want each steak to have its own plate. That's why they're separated like that. This plate will be with the steak through the whole cooking process until it's finished. And once again, I'll show you why closer to the end. But notice they are not seasoned. They're just unwrapped and put on the plate until they get to room temperature, which more or less you just put your finger there, and when it's not cold, not room, then you're good to go. All right? Okay, the steak has been sitting. It's room temperature. Now, a lot of people see all the moisture on the steak and they think that's good. It's juices. It's not. What you want to do is set the steak in a paper towel, and you're not squishing out the juices. You're patting it and getting all the moisture off of it. And the reason you're doing that is because when you put it in the pan to cook it, you don't want the moisture to be cooking it. You don't want to steam this steak. So we're not squishing it, we're just patting it dry. Once you pat it dry, put it back on the plate, and the only seasoning we're using is salt. You want to be pretty generous with it. Generous. Get it all over both sides, and even rub it around the edges a little bit. Just like that. Okay, this is an electric oven. We're going to turn the heat on, and you want your heat to be pretty high. This is an electric oven, and we're going to set it to about number 7, which is pretty high. And now we're not going to put our steak in there. We're not going to add anything to that. We're just going to let that get up to temperature. We're going to leave it for about 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 10, so the whole pan gets fully up to temperature. We want this thing almost smoking. So it just wants to maybe even start smoking. That's how hot you want to get it. Alright, so as soon as that gets up to temperature, we'll throw the steak on. Got our pan up to heat. It's nice and hot. So now you want to take your steak, lay it away from you, and just lay it down. See that smoke? That's perfect. Now you do not want to touch this steak for about 4 minutes. Set your timer. Put it on 4 minutes. Don't touch the steak. Don't look at it. Don't mess with it. Don't try to move it. Leave the steak alone for 4 minutes. Alright guys, the 4-minute timer went off. So now all you want to do is flip it. Reset your timer for 4 more minutes. And I'll show you what to do after 4 more minutes. It's been another 4 minutes. Now you take about a half a stick to 3/4 a stick of butter, throw it in there. 1 scoop of minced garlic and both your herbs. Might set off the fire alarm while you're doing this, by the way. Let all that butter melt. Get your herbs in the butter. Now while that butter's boiling right there, you take it and you just scoop it onto your steak. Flip your steak over. Do the same thing. I always flip it one more time. Now, take your steak, you put your steak on the original plate, and you pour your juices right on top of it. You let that sit there without touching it for about 5 minutes. Right now we're letting them sit for about 4 minutes, and then we'll clean them up and cut them. Now the rule of thumbs is, whenever you cook a steak, however long it takes you to cook it, when you're done, you let it sit for at least half that time. We cook these for about a total of 8 minutes, then we spend another minute putting that butter and the herbs on it and the garlic and letting it soak down into that. So another minute on top of that, so 9 minutes we cooked it. So we're gonna let this steak sit for 4 to 5 minutes. And the reason you do that, when people cut steaks right open and all that juice comes out and they're like, oh, look how juicy it is. Well, all your juice is leaving the steak. So what you do is you let it cool down for about half the cook time, and the steak absorbs all those juices and it keeps them in there. So when you cut it open, it may not look as juicy, but it's because all that juice is staying in the steak itself. So make sure you let it set. It's all these key little things you do that makes this the best steak. Let it set to room temperature. Dry off all that extra moisture. Just put on some salt and cooking it right. They're almost done. We're going to cut them up and throw them on a plate, let you see what they look like. Alright guys, our steaks have been sitting for about 4 or 5 minutes. Now we're going to cut one up. I always cut it right off the bone. And this is the piece of meat you're going to serve to people. It's nice, it's juicy. If there's any little fat, I'll cut that right off. What you do, you don't want to cut straight down, you want to cut it at an angle, straight in. Doing the cuts about 1 inch apart. Alright, then we're going to take this and move it over to the plate. Just feather it open. Now I usually make mashed potatoes with this. But this isn't a mashed potatoes video. This is a steak video. There you have it. That's going to be one of the best steaks you ever have. I don't know how it's coming through for you guys, but it is extremely juicy. Looks delicious. We definitely got to try this. Alright guys, we just got done cutting that up, throwing it on the plate, and now we're going to try it. There we go. Look at that puppy. Is that focusing for you guys? Probably not. Extremely juicy. Very good. Tell you what. That's really good. You could cut this steak with a fork probably. Really good steak. Enjoyed cooking it. I hope you guys give this a try, because I'm telling you, if you try this, it will be the best steak you ever had. It does make a lot of smoke because you're cooking it at such a high heat, so make sure you got good ventilation. Do it step by step. I did. Every little step matters. You got to do, if you miss any of those steps, if you don't get the moisture off the steak before you season it with salt, that actually kind of like gives it a boil, so it makes the crust taste different. You got to do it all. And choice of meat's very important too. Make sure you get a good ribeye. Make sure it has that marbling in it. And I'm telling you, this steak's better than any steak you'll get in any restaurant. All right? I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give this a like, thumbs up. If you try it, throw some comments in there. Let me know what you thought. I'm really excited. I wanna know if people try my cooking, and let me know what they think. All right? Have a good day. Please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. If you have any friends that can't cook very good, or they're one of those people who say the only way to cook a steak is on a grill, bam, make this for them and let them try it. Have a good day. Take it easy. Now, one of the main reasons you get bone-on ribeye is because when no one's looking, you take this puppy into the corner of the house, and you just go at it. Make sure you stand in the corner, because when you're sitting there gnawing on this thing, they kind of laugh at you and make fun of you. But it's so good, it's worth it. Who cares? I usually just find a corner, or I go into a closet somewhere, and I just eat this thing. So try it. It's worth it, trust me. All right, bye. See you guys later.